Hello and welcome to our School at Home class in English Grade 7. We are in the second quarter of our set of lessons, and I hope everybody will delight in learning today with lesson number 2. Personic Features of Speech, Carriers of Meaning. Communication skill is very important. For us to communicate well, we must care for the listener and make sure that they understand us. It is not just a matter of the words we say, but it is how we say them. With this, it is important to consider the manner on how to speak clearly. This includes the prosodic features that were introduced to you, such as stress, pitch, intonation, juncture, volume and projection, and speech rate. Thus, prosodic features of speech are essential for effective communication. Before you proceed with the lesson, you may take the pretest in just a few minutes. Please prepare a pen and a paper to write down the correct letter of your answers. Direction. Listen to each sentence version carefully. Take note of the changes, most especially the stressed words marked in red, and then match the sentence in column A to its meaning in column B. You may follow after me. Number 1. I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 2. I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 3. I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 4. I said she might consider a new haircut. And number 5. I said she might consider a new haircut. Let's take a look if you were able to get the correct answers for the pretest. Here are the answers to the pretest. Listen carefully. Number 1. I said she might consider a new haircut. The answer is letter B. It means it was my idea. Number 2. I said she might consider a new haircut. The answer is letter C. Don't you understand me? I said she might consider a new haircut. Number 3. I said she might consider a new haircut. The answer is letter D. It's her. It's not another person. Number 4. I said she might consider a new haircut. The answer is letter A. It's a possibility. And number 5, I said she might consider a new haircut. The answer is letter E. She should think about it. Notice how the meaning changes depending on which word you stress. Do not be afraid to exaggerate the stressed words in English because we often use this to add meaning to a sentence. Let's have a quick recap of your previous lesson about prosodic speech. When you say words with emphasis, it is called stress. When you say words with high or low tone, we are referring to pitch. When you say sentences in rise or fall pattern, it is called intonation. When you say words with proper pause to have a smooth flow of speech, it means it's juncture. When you say words that are too soft or too loud, it is volume and projection. And lastly, when you talk too fast or too slow, it is called speech rate. Let us now start with our lesson for today. Say the same sentence using different emotions as shown in the picture. The sentence is, I have homework tonight. What emotions do you see in the picture? That's right. The first emotion is being happy. So you can say, I have homework tonight, which means the person is very excited to do the homework. How about the second emotion? You are correct. That's being bored. So you can say, I have homework tonight, which means the person doesn't want to do the homework because it's not fun. And then we have the sad emotion. So you can say, I have homework tonight, which means the person doesn't want to do the homework because he or she feels upset right now. What does your tone of voice convey? Did it change the meaning of the sentence? Tone of voice is one of the most influential elements of communication. There are factors in the sound of your voice that give meaning to the message you're sending. Some of these factors are the changes in volume, projection, pitch, stress, intonation, juncture, and speech rate. Now, here is another example. Try to emphasize the words that are marked in red. Can you tell the difference in meaning? Listen carefully. Number 1. I love school. It means the person really does love school. Number 2. I love school. The person is suggesting that he loves school, but the listener does not. And number 3. I love school. It means the person speaking loves school but not other things. The way we say the words can change the meaning of the sentence. It only means that how we say something is as important as what we say. If we say it right, the intended and clear message helps decrease confusion and misinterpretations in social situations. Another important thing is that when it comes to learning English is being aware of our stress and intonation. Stress and intonation are closely linked. They go hand in hand. Intonation is about the way the voice rises and falls when speaking. In other words, it is the music of the language. Just as words have stressed syllables, sentences have regular patterns because of stressed words. In addition, the voice tends to rise, fall, or remain flat depending on the meaning that we want to convey. Let's learn more about these two prosodic features. The first one is stress. Stress means you give emphasis on the specific syllable or words in the sentence. When a particular word in a sentence is emphasized, spoken loudly, or printed in bold or italics, the meaning of the sentence changes. That means it is important to understand which words we generally stress and which we do not stress. The words that are stressed are called content words. Content words are words that have meaning, while function words are non-stressed words because it serves as grammatical function with little identifiable meaning. Here are some examples. For content words we have nouns, verbs, adjectives, negative words with no such as nothing, nowhere, words expressing quantities such as a lot of, a few, many, etc. For function words, we have determiners, auxiliary verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns, and verbs have and be even when used as main verbs. Meanwhile, intonation is about the way the voice rises and falls when speaking. It is used for a range of functions such as indication of emotions of the speaker, signaling the difference between statements and questions, focusing attention on important elements of the spoken message. Common examples include the WH question words. Below are the examples. Number 1. When action is the main focus. What are you doing? Number 2. When the person being asked is the main focus of the interrogator. What are you doing? Number 3, when the answer is close-ended. Yes, I'm doing the dishes. Number 4, when someone is interviewed. Do you do the dishes? The very same sentence might result in quite a different idea by shifting the stress and intonation from one word to another, going beyond the exact meaning of the words to indicate how the speaker feels. Let's practice. Read the following sentences. Try reading the sentences by stressing the words marked in red each time. Can you tell the difference in meaning? Now it's your turn to read the following sentences. Well done! Now listen carefully so that you will understand the meaning of each sentence. Number 1. I love your mother's cooking. It means the person really loves the cooking of your mother, and maybe someone else does not love your mother's cooking. Number 2. I love your mother's cooking. That means the speaker naturally loves your mother's cooking. Number 3. I love your mother's cooking. The person doesn't like someone else's cooking, but only your mother's cooking. Number 4. I love your mother's cooking. It means the speaker doesn't like a particular family member's cooking. Maybe, for example, your father's cooking. And number 5. I love your mother's cooking. That means the speaker might hate your mother, but still loves her cooking. Another important thing in conveying clear message is knowing the importance of juncture. Juncture is a pause or slight delay in a continuous flow of speech. Pauses or intervals of silence between or within words, phrases, or sentences. Actually, juncture and pauses are just the same. But why do we need to pause in our speech? Pausing is one of the most overlooked delivery techniques, but there are many benefits of using pauses effectively. First, pauses help your listener understand you better. Second, pauses help convey emotion. And third, pauses control the overall pace of your delivery. Juncture can be practiced when reading sentences. Make sure to pause for a while after a punctuation mark. These punctuation marks, like commas, question marks, periods, etc., can completely change the meaning of the sentence, depending where they are placed. It helps the reader understand the intended message. Now, practice reading the same sentence. Can you tell the difference in meaning? Listen carefully. Number 1. Who is calling? Jinky. It means the person is asking Jinky who called at that time, maybe over the phone, and that call is maybe for someone else. While in the second sentence, who is calling Jinky? The person is asking who exactly is calling or looking for Jinky. Let's practice again. Can you tell the difference in meaning for these sentences? Number 3. Are you asking, my dear student? Number 4. Are you asking, my dear student? Number 3 means the teacher is clarifying if the student is asking him a question. Are you asking, my dear student? The next sentence, the teacher is talking to someone and clarifying if that person is asking a question to his student. Are you asking, my dear student? Now that you've understood the changes in stress, intonation, and juncture, here are other important elements in speech that may also affect the intended message of the speaker. The first one is speech. For example, to be persuasive, you should use a pitch inflection or a high tone to make what you are saying come to life. Volume. That means to avoid the extremes of being too loud or too soft, while also varying our volume within an acceptable middle range. And we don't want to sound like a robot, right? Speed. The speed at which you talk has a huge influence on how the audience perceives you and your speech. It's important, therefore, to understand your speaking rate and how to alter it depending on the type of speech you are delivering. And last but not the least, the tone. Our tone conveys our attitude, whether we send a message of humor, anger, sarcasm, jealousy, or sincerity. How good communication can improve safety in school. Do you think that good communication can help in physical safety, emotional safety, and academic safety? In physical safety, it is important to communicate clearly about the safety procedures and follow them. Tell your teachers if you see any threats, accidents, and all the other hazards around you. In emotional safety, reach out in time of need. Communicating problems is difficult, but it is also good if you seek advice from an adult whom you really trust. It can be your parents or your teachers. And last but not the least, in academic safety, do not be afraid to ask questions or tackle the challenge that you are experiencing so that the teachers or the school can help you with your concerns. To wrap everything up that we have talked about in this lesson, let us always remember that Personic features are routinely used to signal a speaker's attitude to what they are saying. These features such as stress, intonation, juncture, and other elements like pitch, volume, speech rate, and tone help us infer the sentence meaning and the speaker's intended meaning. Now that we are done with the lesson, you are now ready to take the post-test. Direction. Read the sentence version carefully and take note of the stressed words. Match the sentence in column A to its meaning in column B. You may follow after me. Number 1. I'll go to school next Friday. Number 2. I'll go to school next Friday. Number 3. I'll go to school next Friday. Number 4. I'll go to school next Friday. And number 5. I'll go to school next Friday. After listening and viewing to this video lesson, do not forget to do these exercises as your homeschool work for today. Worksheet number 2, English Grade 7, Second Quarter. Thank you for listening and see you in the next lesson.